Is ticking for Charter Spectrum to come up with a plan to transition its services to a new provider.
The state PSC on Friday announced it was revoking the company's merger with Time Warner and giving them 60 days to come up with a transition plan and leave New York.
And now it's stirred up a bunch of questions from you, our viewers. News Channel 9's Jeff Kulikowski is here this evening to help answer them. Jeff, what happens when day 60 rolls around?
Well, you know, whether you like Spectrum, you don't like Spectrum, you love them, you hate them, whatever, nobody wants to be without their TV or internet. And that is why it has kicked up so many questions. So we picked the most frequent ones we've been getting. And we start here. What happens, as Rod said, what happens to my service in 60 days? Well, Charter Spectrum must maintain service to customers during its transition. And key to note, that 60 days is the time for Charter Spectrum to file a transition plan with the PSC to ensure an orderly transition to a successor provider. Doesn't mean in 60 days things all change or something goes dark. And that plan is subject to commission review and approval. Next, what happens to the rural broadband build-out that the company had promised? Well, companies required to comply with the public service law and franchise obligations, which required originally them to build out certain specifications when they took over from Time Warner Cable. So likely that will continue. Probably the other big question we've been getting from people is, what happens to the roughly 11,000 Charter Spectrum workers that are out there? You might know some of them. Well, because they have to maintain service and comply with that public service law and those franchise obligations, there should be no disruption to the workforce. Now, I've been digging around some to try to find if the PSC has ever revoked a merger like the one between Time Warner and Charter. I can't seem to find one anywhere that they have. So it looks like first one, certainly of this magnitude. So definitely stay tuned here. Don't be surprised if there's a prolonged legal battle, Rod.
All right, Jeff, thank you. Now, Spectrum issued a statement on Friday saying the move is politically charged rhetoric in an election year. Christy?